My name is Karen Makar. I am also a rising senior at South Burlington High School in Vermont as well. So,
We are two members of Muslim Girls Making Change, which is MGMC for short, which is a slam poetry group that we started over a year ago. And we have essentially started it to kind of combat the issues that we saw in our community and really highlight experiences and stories that we were having and really bring that to light and just have our voices heard as youth. And since our formation, we've competed internationally at Brave New Voices, which is a youth international slam poetry competition. And we've also been awarded Huffington Post top 17 Muslim women who made America great in 2016 and received the national yep. And we received the National Education Association and Human Civil Rights Award.
so while now we do MGMC, and that's a really big part of what we do. We all start from different points. So for myself, my gateway into youth activism and service was through a tiny, tiny little blanket drive I did at my school to help internally displaced refugees within Syria. And this was supposed to be a really small thing in my classroom, and through fate, media, and working with my governor and some local, statewide, national organizations, I was able to get over 5,000 items within 1 month. And that was a really, really big thing for me at that point because I went from a student who was too scared to raise her hand in class to someone who could now meet with members of Congress on Capitol Hill and be on stages like this.
And my youth activism journey began when I was a sophomore. My sophomore year, I did a prescription drug prevention program. And I didn't think I was gonna do that back then, but that's what I was interested in. And through that program, I kind of got more comfortable with meeting members in my community, really talking to them about issues that I cared about, meeting my legislators. Eventually, that also got me comfortable with public speaking, and that translated into MGMC, which is what we do now. And I've been doing public speaking since then, and I've also been participating in other programs. There is a list of programs. The next slide. This is just a partial list of the things that we do.
It's okay. But anyways, we do, it's fine. So, some other things we do include things like working with the Women's March and Results and other organizations. So if anyone wants to talk to us afterwards about that kind of thing, it's cool. But also, we really want to stress right now with this slide that even though we do things that other teens may not do, we are, at the end of the day, we are still average teenagers. We love to annoy our parents, take selfies, go on Snapchat.
Yeah, even in this picture, we were at a formal event, but we were still being Hawa, Volkisa, Lena, and Kieran. So yeah, so that's what we do at the end of the day. We're still teens.
So really quickly now, I want to take a formal or informal poll of the audience. So raise your hand if your organization has anything to do with youth, whether it be like a youth advocate or anything. All right, cool. Now raise your hand if you have any position for youth at all in your organization.
Like a youth advisory board, youth council, whatever it is.
All right, cool.
And now raise your hand if you know what adultism is. Okay, so for those of you who know, the exit's right there. I'm done. My work is done. You already know. And those of you who didn't raise your hand, why?
Come on, the word adult is in the sentence. Come on, guys. Like, where are we at right now?
Right. So adultism is the power adults have over youth. So this can be seen through prejudice and discrimination, whether systematically or just in basic everyday relationships that adults have with youth.
And this is not something we made up ourselves, as some of you guys know in the audience. It was actually started in the 1970s by a psychologist and later on worked by John Bell, another notable figure.
Yeah.
So this actually results in a whole bunch of things. So
adults tend to question youth sometimes about their experiences and their emotions based on their age. Sometimes they'll under-evaluate their work, so that can result in pizza overpay.
So hashtag pay not pizza. As Muslim Girls Making Change, we have Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. Make sure to tweet at us too.
And they can also postpone youth activism till a later age. So usually that's post-college, saying that we need to relax and not be too loud and outgoing because that's not appropriate for our age.
So today we'll be talking about 5 things that we think are really helpful to combat adultism and things you can implement into your own organization.
Number 1, accommodations. So this means providing us with transportation It means really understanding that our school hours and working with them and not against them. And if we can't make it to a meeting, finding a way to contact us via Skype or phone call. A good organization that did this for me was Racial Justice Task Force. So I live in Burlington, so they sent someone from the Burlington area to come pick me up and take me all the way to Montpelier, which is a 45-minute drive. Here, that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's the longest drive you'll get in VT.
Vermont's like really tiny, so like you see like 10 cows on the way there, and that's pretty big. So it was a pretty big deal for us. Another great way of doing this, accommodating youth, is with the language you use. So for a lot of us, we care a lot about these issues, and we understand them more in a personal sense. We might have experienced them, we might have seen them in our everyday life. So for myself, I know what gender norms are because I'm treated differently than my brother, and I have different expectations. But I may not know what that word is. So being sure to not use all this jargon at them right away so they feel included in the movement. Number 2.
Invite us to your spaces. This piggybacks onto transportation, so physically bring us to those spaces, but also hear us out when we have ideas and want something to say, because we are the movement, we are the future, and our present isn't optional, it's necessary.
And one amazing organization, as Emily mentioned, is This Gen. So as Emily mentioned, it brought 75 youth from all over the country to talk about everything under the sun about gender-based violence. We talked about the power structures, we talked about individual identities and intersectionalities of gender-based violence. And while there, we were able to really enact change. We marched on Capitol Hill, policy went to Capitol Hill for a meeting, sports track went to NBC, so we really were in those spaces that we would actually be able to make a change one day and do it now. So being in that space was really powerful for us, and I think This Gen did an amazing job, and there's some people in the audience who helped organize that, so you can reach out to them or reach out to us from a participant experience as well.
Yeah, not only was the conference amazing, but the application process was just as smooth. They actually created a section for us to do a creative response, and us being poets, of course, we utilized our skills and put that into this creative response.
It's the year 2020. I can see clearly. I see the girl I could have been. The acid that scorched her ancestors' face isn't her reality. In her world, a girl is not an object that can be devoured. She is a masterpiece, to be admired but not touched. Watch and see what she can become.
In the distance, I see a girl that looks like me. She is smiling. Surrounding her is the green grass of her homeland, Somalia, a place where 95% of girls once experienced female genital mutilation. The practice is now banned. She is safe. She can be seen and heard. She feels
Equal,
important,
valued.
human.
All right, so number 4, intersectionality. Coming from the most diverse generation yet, we really do understand intersectionality in a very personal way. So for myself, I am a brown Muslim woman of color who's a first-generation American.
And for me, I'm a Black heterosexual Muslim female that's also a refugee.
So we really do understand intersectionality in our own and everyday experiences, whether it be ourselves and our friends, but also applying intersectionality between when we're understanding our dynamics between adult and children. So in the typical adult-child relationship, there is definitely a difference of power. The adult obviously has more privilege and can use that privilege in a certain way. This is exacerbated when the other factors such as race, gender, class, ethnicity come in. So it's really, really, really important to be aware of this when we are in our organizations. We need to be constantly reaffirming the fact that our power and privilege may be affecting these relationships. So
constantly like making sure to reevaluate and re-examine the relationship that you have with youth in your programs. And the last one, tokenization versus listening. So of course we want to be heard and we want you guys to listen to us, but there's a difference between listening to us and really putting us at the forefront of your movement, because we don't always want to be that token Muslim person, Black person, whatever it is, because usually what happens is they take our identities and use that as a platform to get more viewers or whatever it is. So we don't always want to feel like that.
I cannot tell you the number of times that we've got involved in organizations as newbies and immediately become the head of the marketing campaign because they're young Muslim women of color, you know? So that really goes off what Hal was saying about tokenization, because we understand when we're being used and we don't like it. We want to be valued members, which goes off of listening. We want to be heard. We want to know that when we're spending our time somewhere, that time is going to equal results. I think everyone in this room is here because we want to see a conclusion. We want to see a final goal. And that's the same with youth. We want to see something happen.
So really know that we care, but we know fake friends when we see them. We don't need fake allies too. We don't play. Got it? Hashtag no fake allies 2K17. Muslim girls making change. Add us up. Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you.